These are the Nothing Headphones 1, the first of their kind over-the-ear headphones from Nothing, launching at the same time as the Nothing Phone 3. These headphones are providing us a very interesting and I would say probably very eye-catching and unique design that I promise you is very much a functional design. They have so many options in their customizations within the app on your smartphone, but also on the headphones themselves. Great audio quality from not only using the microphones, but also audio reproduction. Definitely very nice, long battery life with the built-in batteries that we have in here. And at the end of the day, this is Nothing. And of course, the Nothing Phone 3 is launching at the same time. We'll talk about that in a separate video, but let's focus on the Nothing Headphones 1. Let's check them out and see what makes them so special. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos for you on the channel. So I want to go real quick on the box itself. Obviously Nothing are registered to Nothing. This is the Headphones 1. And you can definitely see here the design of the headphones themselves, the arm, the word Nothing in here, some of the options in here, the see-through transparent, again, iconic look that Nothing has carried throughout its hardware. One of the main things as well is the fact that this is also tuned by KEF. The box inside, of course, has a very much continuing look, the arm, the actual headphone itself. And as you saw with the introduction, we have a nice hard shell case, a nice little dimple here, and of course the ability of holding it straight up. So you basically put your fingers on one side, your thumb on this side, and you have a very good solid grip on the actual case. And again, very much a hard shell. Of course, we have a nice little zipper on it, and when you open it up, we have direct access to the headphones themselves. The headphones themselves comes pre-assembled. There's nothing to do primarily other than just make sure to pick out that the headphone jack, the TRX to TRX connection, and of course the USB-C to C cable to be able to charge the headphones themselves. There is no charger included in the box, but we definitely have access to the ability of charging them with any other device. And of course, we have a QR code here to be able to download the Nothing X app, and this is going to be how we be able to customize and of course tune our headphones. So first things first, the headphones themselves have a very nice design that is very similar to something that you've seen before on the Apple ecosystem, and I think it's by design. The aesthetical look that we have on the outside, these buttons are non-clickable. You can definitely see here it's a plastic covered area, but it looks beautiful. It stands out regardless of wherever you are when you're using them. And one of the beautiful things about them is we also have an access button here to be able to launch the assistant, a quick access and launching button on the side. When we hold them or you actually use them, you do need to open them up straight forward and then turn them around, as the button configuration that we have are all sitting on the right ear cup. You'll notice there is a word here that says right, and then there's another one that says left, so you know where it is. It's expandable at the top at this angle, and of course on this angle we have a nice soft cushiony material here on the top as well as on the ear cups themselves. These are over the ear, not on ear, so the intention is your ears are supposed to go inside and these sit around them, providing you a very nice, almost weightless experience because of the way the weight distribution is done between the ear cups as well as the headrest. This area should not be touching your head, and for me, since I have no hair, for the most part, it pretty much just interacts at the cushioning sections that we have. The cushions, very nice, very responsive. You can definitely see here, they come back, very, very nice. And we have some button configurations to customize the experience that we have. On the bottom, it's a pretty much straight, clean experience. On the right side, access to the headphone jack for the TRX cable that we looked at, a USB-C for charging, as well as the ability of one of the microphones, a power on button, and again, noise cancellation area here, track back, track forward experience in here to be able to move back and forth with the songs that we're listening to. Here, we also have the ability of basically play and pause by just clicking the button. But the nice thing about it is it actually works as a dial. This is your volume rocker. Now, I talked about the fact that this is extremely functional. Yes, you can skip back and forth here with the button. You can play and pause here, and you can also basically scroll by moving up and down here on the volume. This matches the volume level on your phone. Also, if you press and hold for an extended amount of time, you can jump between pass-through audio from outside, basically turning off active noise cancellation, and then turning on active noise cancellation. The highest audio quality that we're able to get here is LDAC. It is built in directly into the system, and it's going to work pretty much with almost every device with the exception of iPhone because, again, they don't support it. But from an Android standpoint, LDAC is wildly supported across almost any other device. It doesn't necessarily need to be a Nothing phone, but it will work really nicely there. The last thing I do want to share, which you probably would not see unless you looked for it, is the pairing button. We do have support here for multi-device connection, meaning two devices at the same time. I've been using these with my MacBook Pro as well as my smartphone, and I've also tried it with two different phones as I was trying to do the audio recording test to test out the headphone or the microphones that we have in here. I'll say this just right out of the box. We haven't gotten to that point in the conversation, but they definitely sound fantastic. When I've had conversations with people on the other side, they don't hear anything from around me. The audio is focused on me. It's clear audio. And the battery life, I haven't been able to kill the battery on this. I've had that at 100%. And for the last 8 days, I barely got it to about 50%. That's how long the battery life is really intended to last on this unit. We have an IP52 water and dust resistance in here, just to keep in mind in case you do get a little bit of water on it. It has a nice little weight, but I will also say one of my favorite features, because these are two flat areas at the bottom, I can actually rest my headphones anywhere I go. I could just go, put them down, pick them up. You can obviously put them on the side, but if you want to basically set them up, they stand up. And this makes it so much easier to grab your headphones and get out. Now, to customize it, you do need to download the application. They do give us a QR code to be able to find it, or just go directly to the Play Store and download the Nothing X app. Once you connect them and customize them, you're pretty much ready to go. You have access to be able to change the noise cancellation level. By definition, when it's not being used, meaning if it's not on, since it has wear detection, it doesn't actually activate the function. But if I take them on, let's say turn it on right now and put them on, you'll notice that right away it jumps into the last mode that I used. Now I'm using transparency mode. I can just press and hold the button on the headphones themselves. It goes in there. And it does have an interesting sound effect that it does when it's going to noise cancellation over or outside of it. It has almost like a suction area sound, like almost like it's just getting a fully suctioned area, and it just brings down the environment or the entire universe around you down by a lot. The noise cancellation here is absolutely one of the best that I've heard so far. But otherwise, if you don't want to be turning off, you press and hold on it. You get a breathing sound from there, and then at that point, you're back to using it transparency mode. And by far, if I had to explain or say that how does it sound like if I'm using transparency mode, it sounds like I have nothing on. The mics are that good and the sound is that good. So this mode or this mode, for the most part, they sound just the same for me, and I'm able to have conversations with people. So very, very nice. Moving on to the other options, we have spatial audio. As you can imagine, we have head tracking and fixed mode, essentially meaning that you're actually able to basically customize the experience based on what you want to use. And you can jump between each one regardless where you want. You can activate that in the middle of a song. Now, we have the ability of turning on bass enhancement. Again, this does activate only when the headphones are on. Let's go ahead and give it a second to turn on. Once you have the headphones on, you'll be able to turn this functionality on. Let's go ahead and give it a second, and you can customize it directly by how much bass level you want to increase. They are definitely tuned to be somewhat of a mid-range experience when it comes to bass. You're able to boost it with the EQ as well as the bass level. You can jump into the EQ settings here, customize, use some of their built ones, balance, more bass, more treble, voice, or you can just go into the advanced, customize, create your own EQ, and of course, just customize the experience to your level if, again, you feel like it's a little bit too bassy. I personally like to listen to dance, EDM, and rock, so for me, bass is not an issue. I absorb and I am one with the bass. Let's just say that. Custom controls, you can customize the experience by single press, long press, and then the paddle customization is paddle left and right. You can customize that, and paddle left and right, and hold also has a customization option. Again, so many more options that you're able to do. Under device settings, pretty straightforward. We have low latency mode for gaming, absolutely fantastic. High quality audio, it does support LDAC. AAC is the one that is out of the box. Now, over-ear detection, obviously, if you want to be able to disable audio when you're listening to it so you don't have any problems there. Dual connection is really where it becomes very nice. You'll notice right there, I have my Find X8 Pro connected as well as my MacBook Pro, but I also have the Galaxy S25 Ultra connected in here. You're able to connect up to 2 devices at the same time, get notifications, sound from either one of them. But if you want to switch, let's say, between different devices, as long as the other device is within near range of the actual headphones themselves, you're able to uncheck. Let's say I want to uncheck my MacBook Pro in this one. I'll go ahead and give it a second, say disconnect. Of course, last but not least, find my headphones and forget in case you want to be able to disconnect them and pair them to another device. And I can assure you this was going to be paired to the Nothing Phone 3 as soon as I get that. Now, the last thing before we go to start talking about the audio quality is you'll notice here that the battery level that I have here is 55% from 100%, and I've been using it for over a week. The battery life is extremely long, very nice, and you are not going to have to charge them as often as you think. They have the cable included in the package as well as the headphone cable, which makes them very nice, and even if the battery dies, you're able to use them wired. Now, we didn't get a chance to talk about the actual drivers that we have in here. We have a 40mm driver, dynamic drivers that we have in here that give us some of the best audio experience, tuned directly within the application, within the EQ customization, or even adding more bass in case if you want to be able to get some of that experience in there. The areas that we have in here, they're definitely very nice. They don't scratch easy. I actually thought they were going to scratch a lot easier than that. Again, very nicely configured. You can actually set them up, put them on the side. Very good. It doesn't weigh as heavy as it looks, although it definitely is one of the heavier units that I have. Battery life with ANC off is ready to go up to 80 hours if you want to be able to use them in that mode. It does provide some sort of noise isolation if you're using it without active noise cancellation on, and that's something to keep in mind. So if you're using it in the off mode, not the transparency mode, you're definitely going to be able to get much better battery life experience. Again, USB-C connection here. We have a soft shell case, very nice. A lot of customizations built into this. As far as putting them on, again, very straightforward. Put them on, make sure that they're over your ears and your ears are directly inside. Adjust the top part of it just to kind of get that fit correctly. And for the most part, very straightforward, very easy. And you are going to forget that they're on there. This is the weird thing about them, is when you think about the way they look and the size of them, over time, if you're used to using over the ear, you actually kind of forget that they're on. And in the general experience of listening to audio for them, it's very well isolated because of the way it sits on your ear, so that there's not a lot of noise leakage when you're listening to music with it. We're going to go ahead and listen to some songs in here just to kind of show you guys how does it work on the device. We'll go ahead and hit the button here, the jog dial on the back. Press it again to pause. If I want to be able to change between transparency mode and non-transparency, press and hold. The noise changes. Now I can hear myself perfectly as if I'm talking the normal way, which is kind of really weird. If I want to be able to skip tracks, I can just swipe on the side, then it'll skip track and it'll slip back and automatically start playing. Just go ahead and press and hold and press it. If I press the little Smart Assistant button, I'll press and hold on it on my side. Although you're able to reprogram the function, it will actually just break by pressing it once. It'll launch the assistant here. I'll go ahead and swipe that away. You also have the ability of press and holding, setting up that functionality in there. Same thing with the jog dial on the side, skip back and forth. That helps you do that. You can also basically skip back or basically click the option and hold. It has other functionalities built in. You can really just go into the app and just have all your different shortcuts. For me, the setup out of the box is pretty much straightforward. You put them on, you listen. If you want to be able to pair another pair, let's say use another device, just make sure to click. It's on the right ear cup. So all of the buttons are on the right side. And you can basically press and hold. It turns on the Bluetooth pairing functionality, pair it to a new device. And just so you know, it will forget the first device that it paired to, not the last one. So the last one that it pairs to plus the new one become the two default one. You go back into the Nothing X application, and then from there you can customize which two are connected at the same time. You can keep it to the first one and the third one as opposed to the second. Again, it gives you a list of all the devices that it's paired and it knows to connect to. Other than that, sound on it is pretty good. Let's go ahead and go outside real quick. I want to be able to test out for you guys the audio on those microphones. I promised you some great experiences. Let's go ahead and see if they deliver. One of my favorite ways of testing out headphones is to be able to record a video using them as the audio source. So right now we're recording with the Headphones 1 from Nothing. Not only are they comfortable to wear, not only do they have an amazing long battery life, I'll say this, in my testing period that I've been using them, I've only had to charge them once, and that's how long I've been using them, and they're down to about 50% as of recording this video. But the reason why I wanted to share this with you because is I've been using them at the gym, I've been using them at home. Conversations are very clear, people are able to understand me, there's no issues there. But also situational dampening has also been really nice. There's a plane flying right above me. Hopefully you guys are not hearing too much of it, but essentially the experience is going to be like this. If you're making phone calls, receiving phone calls, or even jumping in on, let's say, a video chat, something similar to what we're doing here, this is how it should sound from the Nothing Headphones 1. Now, from what you're hearing there, as I mentioned to you guys in the video, that there was a plane flying over me. I can actually kind of hear the airplane flying over me, and you could not hear any of that. All of that environmental sound that was out there. I was outside in the backyard. You couldn't hear a single thing from it. And I think that was one of the things that basically made me appreciate these headphones so much. Now, if you're using a Nothing phone, there's also the news app that comes in, part of that. You can also be able to play that. It is something that you're able to even install on non-Nothing phones. I have that as a separate shortcut. And you're able to actually activate it by just pressing it, make it into a widget. And you can listen to Tim, the Nothing CFO, to be able to read you the news. It's absolutely cool. It's fantastic. There are obviously going to be some more functional options built in directly to Nothing phones, specifically when I start to be able to test these guys out with the Nothing Phone 3. So let's talk about sound experience and audio quality. Overall, they're comfortable. They're comfortable to wear for an extended amount of time. I've been wearing them not only for work, but I've also when I go to the gym, I'm listening to music, I'm working out with weights. They hold, and there's definitely it's a good fit, at least for my head. And as you can see, I don't have any hair. So if you have hair, it may even have a better fit because of the way the hair kind of just sits on the side. Audio has been great. Audio experience for me. It did require a little bit of tuning, but I think that's what you're intended to do. The default presets are actually good enough for general listening, but if you want to listen to a little bit more specific, where you want like better mids and highs, better pronounced audio experience when you're talking about vocals and you're listening to more vocal tracks, you definitely want to be able to play with the tuning on this directly within the EQ. The bass extra there for me is just as I'm listening to bass music, bass heavy music, I want to be able to feel it, and they definitely do the job very nicely. The range is also very, very good. I've had the opportunity to leave my phone here in my office, go all the way again to the opposite side of my house with about 2 to 3 walls between me and the phone, and it works great. So I've actually had to go take out the trash, bring in the trash bins. All of that experience works really good. I like the fact that they are designed with quality in mind, but also functionality in mind. We're not getting a compromise. We're getting everything that we want for that around 300 bucks price point that they're talking about. And you're getting them at a very nicely designed package. They're unique. They're definitely eye-catching. They're not going to be one of those where they just blend into the background. And not to say that there's an issue there, but for me, I like the fact that this is a functional design. All the button placement on the right ear cup, I know exactly where they are. The volume rocker, I don't have to swipe, I don't have to click. It's just rolling and it directly connects to my phone. I can skip back and forth. I can answer call, hang up on calls. I can jump on a conference call. I can listen to my music. And I love the fact that even though I'm on a call, this is also very nice, I'm also able to still listen to audio from my phone from applications. Let's say if something like a voicemail comes in while I'm still on a call with somebody else, that still works. I've edited videos with them on my MacBook Pro. They work really nice and very good. And if you really want that really, really low latency, the wired connection makes them very nice and very functional. You do have a low latency mode as well, which I feel like works the best with Nothing phones. But again, we'll get a chance to do a little bit more of a deep dive there. They're staying consistent to the Nothing ethos, which is the design that gives us that see-through function, the designs that give us functional buttons, functional options, and nothing added without having a purpose for itself. And I think that's what the Nothing headphones ones are doing for me right now. And I really, really like them. So you're probably seeing some of the examples I'm sharing with you guys right there. I've traveled with them. I'm going to be using them on an airplane. I'm going to be using them for conference calls, editing more content. More than likely, this video that you guys are watching right now is going to be edited using the headphone one on my MacBook Pro because I'm going to be editing as I'm traveling. So at the end of the day, if you're looking for a premium pair of headphones, over-the-ear headphones from Nothing, or even in general, these are going to be a very good, compelling case. Out of the box, I do want to say you do need to jump into the EQ section and customize the audio to your liking. Again, it depends on what you're listening to. If you're looking for great audio reproduction and great mids and highs, again, large diameter, the dynamic drivers that we have in here, you're not going to be disappointed. And if you want to have a little bit more bass heavy experience, this will actually jump that right there with you and just stay up with you. Long battery life, easy to customize, easy to use, and it includes a case, which makes them very nice and easy to travel with. At the end of the day, let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think of the design of the headphones one? Would you wear them? Would you rock these guys and walk around with them? For me, I've had no problem enjoying listening to music there. And I've had a couple of people take a look because, again, they look very unique, which I feel like is the whole point of what Nothing is going for here. It's not only there from their phone 3, the previous generations that we've seen, but it's there with their headphones one, even their earbuds, they do that all the time. They provide you great audio for everything that you want to listen to. Thank you very much for the support. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye for now.